Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Judge Tammy Long Hayward. This is the State Court of Clayton County, courtroom 304. This is the arraignment calendar for May 12th, 2025. I'm going to call the calendar. If you have an attorney, he'll speak for you, but I do need to know that you are here. Please make sure that your first and last name are on the calendar. First and last name are on the screen. So if you don't know how to change it, click on the box that your name appears on. There should be a blue box with 3 white dots that comes up. Click on that box and you'll go down the list and you'll find rename yourself, because it's difficult to find out where everybody's supposed to go if I only have a first name. Calendars are by last name, so I need to know your first and last name to give you credit for being here. So please make those changes at this time. Ladies and gentlemen, an arraignment calendar is when your case comes up to the trial court for resolution through a trial, a plea, or some administrative function. Everybody's entitled to have an attorney represent you. If you do not have an attorney but want to have one, then let me know at the time that I speak to you about your case. If you want to represent yourself, that's fine. I do say that I want to caution you that if you represent yourself, particularly in a trial, a jury trial or a bench trial, you will have difficulty getting your evidence into the record of the court. You may have difficulty responding to or making legal arguments. You may have difficulty getting evidence admitted or responding to objections made by the other side and ruled on by the court, and understanding all of those things. So please understand that the court cannot treat you any differently than they would someone who knows the rules of evidence and procedure, someone who's trained, and such as a lawyer on the other side. The most we can do is explain the process to you. All right, so with that caution being said, understand that the arraignment calendar, I expect to hear one of 3 things: a plea of not guilty, guilty, or nolo. The not guilty plea means that you wish to have a trial by jury or judge. If you go to trial, the state has the burden of proving the case against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You do not have to give any evidence or testimony or present anything at all. No one can force you to participate in the trial. You should be there, but no one can make you do anything. The state has that burden, and you have a Amendment right against self-incrimination guaranteed to you by the Constitution of the United States. Once you go to trial, if you were convicted at trial, the maximum penalty could be up to 12 months in jail, a $5,000 fine, or both per offense. If you were convicted, but you believe the conviction was a mistake, then you would have the opportunity within 30 days of the verdict of the court to take your case to an appellate court. An appellate court may make a different decision. So these are all the rights that come with having a trial by jury or judge. You will also have plenty of time to prepare for a trial. So if you sign up not guilty, you'll have time to prepare for trial. But please, I just tell you, when trial date comes, trials are in person in the courtroom, and you need to be there. You need to have communicated with your attorney. You need to be prepared on that date. Okay. If you wish to enter a plea of guilty or nolo contendere, a guilty plea means that you believe you're guilty of the offenses before the court, even if you don't believe or agree with all of the factual statement made by the state's attorney. You do believe you're guilty of the underlying offense and you want to resolve it. If you enter a plea of nolo, nolo means that the state has evidence that they can present at trial that might result in a conviction against you. You do not wish to contest that evidence, but you also don't wish to enter a plea of guilty. So nolo contendere is Latin for no contest. And if you enter a nolo plea or guilty plea, we'll resolve those today. We'll give you or you and your attorney the opportunity to speak with the state to determine whether you can agree upon a sentence and recommend that to the court, or whether each of you wishes to make your own recommendation to the court, and then the court will make a determination. All right, with a NOLO plea, there's some benefits to that, particularly in traffic offenses. A NOLO plea could help you avoid points or a suspension of your license if you have not used a NOLO plea within the last 5 years. So if you are NOLO eligible, that means you have not used a NOLO plea within the last 5 years for the same or similar offense. So you would have that opportunity once you entered the plea of NOLO to have that considered. Couple of things. If you have a commercial driver's license, please know we cannot tell you what a plea or a conviction could do for your commercial driver's license. We don't know. But since a commercial driver's license is the way that people make money to support themselves, the way that people take care of themselves and their families, please take this very seriously. It is very hard to undo a plea because at a certain time it becomes way more difficult than if you do the work on the front end. So if you believe that what's going to happen today may jeopardize your commercial driver's license, or you're just not sure, you can enter a plea of not guilty. And while you're preparing for trial, you can figure out what might happen to your commercial driver's license with a conviction or a plea. And when you come back to court, if you still want to go to trial, fine. If you want to take a plea, fine. But at least you will know whether you're going to still be able to earn a living. Now, last thing, if you're an under 21 driver, if you're under 21 years of age, it only takes 4 points to suspend your license, and your suspension will be a 6-month suspension, a hard suspension, meaning you will not get a temporary permit for school or work. So please be mindful of that. Speak with your attorney about that. Let them know your age, and if you're if you're wishing to waive your right to have an attorney to speak with the state, please be mindful of that. Okay. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call the calendar. When I call the calendar, if you are represented by counsel, your counsel will give me the information about your case, but I need to know that you are here. And I still see individuals with just their first name on the calendar. So please listen carefully. Let me tell you one more time how to do it. Click on the blue dots or more. You're going to click on the screen next to your name. You're going to click on the upper right corner. You'll see a blue box with white dots. Click on that. It should pull down a menu. Rename is on that menu. Click on rename. Put your name in the box, hit enter. Also, if you don't have the blue box, but you have more next to your name under participants or next to your name in the box, something like more comes up. Click on that, and they also give you the opportunity to rename. I only know a few devices. I'm Android all the way, so I can't help you beyond that point. But you're looking for the rename function to put your first and last name on the calendar. All right. First name on the calendar is Louis Alvin Butler. Kimberly Burrows is the attorney.
Your Honor, Attorney Burrows provided the state with additional documentation on Friday. The state submitted a null pros, and Your Honor has already signed on that.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. Next case is France Gerard Champagne.
He is present in the courtroom, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Champagne, come on up for me.
Go ahead. You can talk now.
You stay right there, so she can kind of see.
Right. All right. So, Mr. Champagne, you're before the court for driving on a suspended or revoked license, no license, suspended registration, no tag, expired or invalid tag, no insurance, stop or yield sign violation, and marijuana 1 ounce or less. Lord, was anything right with what you was doing that day, Mr. Frank? Don't answer that. Sir, do you wish to have an attorney represent you, or do you wish to represent yourself?
I was talking to I can represent myself. I wanted the public defender represent me, but he said I could talk to you.
No, we're happy. I'm sorry, we're happy to represent Mr. Champagne.
Okay, Lester Holton Dennis will assist you, sir. Talk to him.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. Next case is Tiffany Sequatia Grooms. Tiffany Sequatia Grooms.
I believe she's in the courtroom, Your Honor, but she's hearing impaired, so I'm not sure if we need to get someone to help us out with that.
All right. Do we have an interpreter, Ms. Val?
So, Judge, I believe it's not actually a sign language that she needs. She
just needs me to talk louder.
I can hear a little bit. My hearing is impaired. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Miss Grooms, does it help you to see my lips move?
I didn't understand you. I'm sorry.
Okay, tell her to look at the big screen, Owen.
You see her, she's up there as well.
Can you see me? Okay, yeah, Mr. Tipton, you can go ahead and spotlight me or pin me for her. It's okay, breathe. Breathe.
Not understanding, baby, to hear, but I'm gonna try.
Okay, am I speaking loud enough for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you're here for distracted driving and failure to yield the right of way.
Right, okay, so I did not hear the ambulance or the police. They was too far behind, but when they got close, I pulled over. Some of the cops went by and one pulled me over and
Yeah, I believe if we have an opportunity to speak to Ms. Graham, I'm sure it's something we can resolve.
hear them until they got closer for me to pull over. And I do have my paperwork stating that I have hearing loss, which we all can tell today. I can't hear in the car with background noise and stuff like that. It's just hard to hear other things going on, especially outside of the car. So that was just, something that happened that day, and I didn't go fast enough, and I got pulled over.
Okay, question. Do you have hearing aids?
I have hearing aids, but I didn't have them that day.
Okay, so you have them now.
No, ma'am. I don't have them now. No, ma'am.
Well, Miss, are you gonna get them if you're driving? I want you to be able to hear if you're driving.
I didn't have them that day. I didn't have them at that time. My hearing aids. No, ma'am.
Do you have them now?
No, ma'am. I'm in the process of getting, I had some hearing aids 4 years ago and I lost them. So I'm in the process of getting me some hearing aids now because as we all can see, I need them bad. And I just didn't have them that day. And plus the hearing aids I had, it made background noises louder. So I just got to go get a better technology of hearing aids to help me out.
Now, my mother-in-law likes the one, I'm not promoting anything, but my mother-in-law likes the ones at Costco. So that's possible. Costco has, from what I'm understanding, pretty decent hearing aids. And I've heard that from other people. Okay. All right. Did you need an attorney or did you want to talk to the state about resolving?
How did what now?
Do you need an attorney or do you want to talk directly to the state's attorney and see if you can work something out?
Yeah, work something out.
Your Honor, if I may, Ms. Grooms, do you have valid insurance now?
Yes.
Okay, Your Honor, I think it's in the best interest of justice that we null process these cases and let Ms. Grooms take the money we would have had for the failure to yield and put it towards her hearing aids.
Are we talking about insurance on my car when it was towed?
Yes, ma'am.
The insurance was in one of my guy friends' name that he had took the insurance out. He took the insurance off the car, and I did not know that.
Ms. Grooms, do not.
Ms. Grooms, he's gonna dismiss the case.
Okay.
But I need you to get your hearing aids. Get them.
Yes, ma'am.
Get them.
I will.
Thank you, Mr. Tipton.
Your Honor, if you speak any sign language.
Not as much as I used to. My sister is pretty fluent, but I'm not.
I got you.
Woo, a lot. All right. Next is Nathaniel Holm, Holm, Nathaniel Holm.
Your Honor, state's going to move to dismiss this. I've reviewed his driver's license from our records. He has a valid Tennessee driver's license now.
Okay, thank you, sir. Next is Casey Dellen Johnson. Casey Dellen Johnson. Casey Dellen Johnson.
State's going to move for a bench warrant.
Last call for Casey Dellen Johnson. Bench warrant will be granted. 1 second. Next case on the calendar is Eric James O'Connor. Eric James O'Connor.
Judge, Mr. O'Connor is present in the courtroom. He does have 2 cases on the calendar. We are entering pleas of not guilty as to both matters today.
All right. Mr. O'Connor, come on up for me.
You can say my hand.
So, Mr. O'Connor, for the criminal trespass case, you may have bond conditions that say you're not to have contact with a particular person or possibly go to a particular location. Please make sure that if you haven't, I know these cases are pretty old. So if you haven't seen your bond conditions in a while, you can get a copy from the first floor at the state court clerk's office. Just make sure you're adhering to all of the bond conditions. If you weren't, then you could face a revocation of bond, stay in jail until your cases are resolved, and then you could possibly be charged with additional misdemeanors or felonies. So if you have any concerns or confusion about what your bond says and the conditions on your bond, go downstairs before you leave the building and get a copy, okay? And also just keep in touch with your attorneys. They'll know if anything changes about your case, and they'll know they need to get you ready for trial.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, sir. Free to go at this time.
You got my card, right?
Next is Owens, G-O-D Owens. Owens. Last call for Owens, G-O Owens.
Your Honor, the state will request a bench warrant bond forfeiture.
Bench warrant bond forfeiture will be granted.
And good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Demetrius Allen Rowe.
Judge, I believe Mr. Rowe is on the Zoom platform.
Okay,
And I would just request if Mr. Rowe could, if you could chat your best phone number.
send him a chat that he can respond to, Mr. Lynch. Mr. Rowe, you'll see a box with a red box with a white number in it. Click on that. When you see that, you're looking for the one that's coming from courtroom 304, and then you'll respond in that box and send it back with your first and last name, your phone number, and your email address.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, so you all will talk about that case. Next is Kiara Patrice Smith. Kiara Patrice Smith.
And Judge, she does also appear to be on Zoom. I would make the same announcement. I'm going to send her a chat, make sure I have her best phone number, and request a conference.
All right, Ms. Smith, please do the same thing. Respond to the chat request. When you see the box open, you're looking for courtroom 304, click on that. And then when you see the box, type in your first and last name, your phone number, and your email address, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. All right, Stowers, Rico Ramel Stowers. Rico.
Your Honor, the state is moving to no prostate case.
All right, Stowers will be no pros. You're free to go at this time. All right, next is Anthony Kweku Turnino. Anthony Kweku Turnino.
Your Honor, the state is requesting a bench warrant.
Last call for Anthony Kweku Turnino. All right, Turnino will be bench warrant.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, next is Brandon Wilson.
Judge, Mr. Wilson is present in the courtroom. And I have spoken to him. We are going to enter a not guilty plea today.
Okay, Mr. Wilson, same thing. I understand that these cases are old, so people may have lost the sense of what's on their bond conditions, but you're in the building. You can go down to the first floor to the state court clerk's office. Ask them for a copy of your bond conditions, and it will keep you informed as to any persons that are listed that you need to stay away from, not have any contact with. the level of no contact, which is complete and absolute. And also, you want to keep in touch with your attorneys to make sure that you're aware of what's going on and that they have the opportunity to help you get prepared for trial, okay? So you're free to go at this time, but if you have any concerns about your bond conditions, please make sure you go downstairs and get a copy. Last case on the calendar is Tracy Jones Wilson. Tracy Jones Wilson.
Here in the state, we'll be requesting a bench warrant. And
Okay,
I'm sorry, you're not. I'll just hold from the bench warrant. I see that her case was also in Judge Jones Parker courtroom. So I would like to see whether or not that was resolved. I'm not sure how it ended up in two courtrooms.
yeah, it's the same case number?
I'm not sure. I'm looking at it now. I don't know if one was a TK and then one was a case number.
Oh, I think mine at 11 o'clock.
Sir, why are you talking to all of us?
I'm so sorry, ma'am. I was
Okay.
just making sure that this wasn't my court. My court at 11 o'clock.
I got you, but it's not 11 o'clock and you're talking to us instead of confirming it with yourself. This is what I need you to do. I need
Yes,
you
ma'am.
to mute at 11
Stay
o'clock.
on it.
You, at that point, I will give instructions and call the calendar. But the first thing I need you to do is to
Yes,
put
ma'am.
your first and last name on the calendar. I've explained it several times. You're looking for the rename function. And then I need you to keep yourself muted, okay?
Yes, ma'am. The rename option. Where's that at?
If you click
the
next to your, click next to your, where you see your name,
Yes,
or
ma'am.
you see your picture, you
Yes,
should
ma'am.
see a blue box with 3 white dots in it. Click on that. You see that?
No, ma'am. It's not showing up.
Okay, this is what I need you to do then. You
Okay.
can log off,
Okay.
go to YouTube, ask
Okay.
YouTube how to rename yourself on Zoom, watch the video, and then when you come back in, you will be aware, okay?
Okay.
But we'll be
Thank you.
right here, all right?
Thank you so much, Judge.
All right, take care.
All right. Rename.
All right. Yeah, let's check on Wilson. I will be glad to send it to Judge Jones Parker.
And I think, Your Honor, is that there may be the defendant has 2 separate LE numbers, but it's for the same offense.
Ooh,
But I will look further into it. So the state will just hold from that bench warrant request, Your Honor.
okay.
Thank you.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I've called the calendar for the 10 a.m. We have a couple of cases that they're talking about. Mr. Lynch, Mr. Taylor, my understanding is under consideration is Champagne, O'Connor. No, I'm sorry, O'Connor's not guilty. Champagne, Rui, Smith, and Wilson.
Wilson entered a not guilty plea as well, Judge.
Okay, so let me
Brandon
highlight what I need to highlight. That way I don't have to keep going over. And then I'll update. All right, so I have Louis, Champagne, and Smith. Is that right?
I believe so, Judge. I'm gonna step out and call Miss Rui, and then we'll try to get those other matters resolved as expeditiously as possible.
All right, so let me go ahead and I'll mute, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna mute my device. I'm still here. I'm just gonna let the attorney speak with the individuals that they need to speak with, and then we'll get an announcement. Once we get the announcement, we'll resolve those cases, and then after that, we'll move on to the 11 o'clock calendar. Please, this is very important. Please keep your device muted. Also, it's probably important that you watch what happens. And so when we come back on, if we take a plea, watch what happens, because that's exactly what will happen if you take a plea. It's the same procedure. So interesting, but also informative. All right, and I'll be right back.
Pardon me, Your Honor.
Yes, Mr. Tipton?
I was reviewing cases for 11 and 12 o'clock. There's a case I intend on dismissing that the defendant is here for. May I make that announcement to the court so that the defendant may go ahead and log off?
Yes.
Your Honor, state's going to be null processing Mr. Herschel Harris's case. I reviewed the driver's license number on his ticket. It's valid now, and the tag lights, I'm assuming he's fixed by now.
Mr. Harris? Mr. Harris?
Ma'am.
All right, Mr. Tipton, this is the value of being here early. Mr. Tipton has reviewed your case and he's determined that you've met the requirements for dismissal and you're free to go at this time, sir.
Thank y'all. I got my license. Thank you too.
Sir, take care. Be safe, Mr. Harris.
All right. Thank y'all.
All right.
Goodbye.
Thanks, Mr. Tipton.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
Your Honor, and I have an announcement for Tracy Wilson.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Your Honor, we did have an opportunity to look into Ms. Wilson's case. It appears that she took a plea in Judge Jones Parker courtroom to a different case number, but it's the exact same case. So the state is moving to dismiss this case.
All right. Case will be, dismissal will be granted on Wilson, Tracy.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, in the matter of Kiara Smith, we have a plea announcement.
All right.
And I believe she's online. Ms. Smith, if you'll turn on your camera and your microphone.
I'm sorry, my kids are in the background. I'm here.
All right. Ms. Smith,
Yes, ma'am.
right, raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes.
All right. You can put your hand down. You're before the court, State of Georgia versus Kiara Patrice Smith, 2022 CR 01725. You're represented by the law firm of Lister, Holt, and Dennis. You're before this court and you are charged with battery family violence, count 1, battery count 2, simple battery family violence, count 3, and simple battery count 4. Mr. Taylor, what is your client plead to the offenses before the court?
To count 1, battery family violence, Ms. Smith pleads guilty. To counts 2, 3, and 4, those should merge with count 1.
All right. By entering a plea of guilty to count 1, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself or present any testimony or evidence against yourself. And if you're not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things, Ms. Smith?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Factual basis and recommendation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. On July the 9th, 2020, officers responded to 6565 Mark Trail, Riverdale, Georgia, located here in Clayton County, Georgia, in reference to a domestic disturbance. When officers arrived on scene, they made contact with 2 individuals, one being the victim in this case, later identified as Marquavius Meadows, spelled Marquavious, last name is Meadows, Meadows. Officers learned during the course of their investigation that there was a verbal altercation that turned physical when the defendant before you, Ms. Smith, did grab the defendant by the neck and scratched him. Those are the facts of the case, Your Honor. The state's recommendation is as follows: 12 months probation, a $300 fine, suspended, 40 hours of community service, to enroll and complete the Family Violence Intervention Program. And one moment, Your Honor. No violent or harassing contact with Marquavius Meadows.
All right. Mr. Taylor?
That's my understanding, Your Honor. Ms. Smith and Mr. Meadows are co-parenting a child. They've been observing, or she's been observing, the bond conditions by having her family assist with any co-parenting functions. And we just ask that the state, the court accept the recommended sentence.
All right. Ms. Smith, are you and Mr. Meadows still in a relationship other than co-parenting?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So the best thing, we have a lot of situations where we kind of have people independent of each other, except for a child. The best thing is for you and Mr. Meadows to go to the courts and get legitimation, visitation, child support, custody, all of those things spelled out. And they'll give you a document that you can go line by line. And people always say to me, Judge, why we need to go to a court? We good, except when you're not good. And that's the problem. When you have a situation where you have two very independent people living independent lives, and this is where it really gets complicated, is when one or both of you get other people in your lives. Because a lot of times people will come into a situation and they feel the need to manage your situation with the father of your child, even though they didn't have that child with them. Even, I don't want you having all this contact with the father of your child. That's not their call. And so what I say to you is things work a lot better when you have structure and when you don't let other people who are not in the situation. There's always going to be a girlfriend or a boyfriend or, a new husband, new wife who want to have control over that situation. That's not theirs to control. Okay. And so, you do things respectfully. I get that, but you have to prioritize that you and Mr. Meadows are always going to be in a relationship because of your child. And if you do it the right way, your child will grow up feeling that he's, had the benefit of both parents and grown up with a stable childhood, even though y'all weren't together. Got me?
Yes.
Okay. And that's no shade on anything. This is how we move forward in the future so that we can keep things smooth for the benefit of your child.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to accept your plea of guilty. I'll sentence you to 12 months probation. The $300 fine will be suspended, 40 hours of community service, and to take a family violence intervention program class. Now, the class is 24 weeks, but the benefit of it is it teaches you how to communicate in situations that can get difficult, okay? So I promise you it will benefit you, and please make sure that you complete it fully because you don't want to have to restart the course. It's too long for you to restart it, okay? And you're to have no violent or harassing contact with Mr. Marquavius Meadows. And like I said, what I suggest is that you all go to court, get all that stuff worked out. They have it now where if you can agree on a lot of stuff, really it's just mediation and signing off on paperwork as long as y'all can agree. Okay. So just make sure that you do that for the benefit of your child and for the benefit of your own peace. You got me?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So counts 2, 3, and 4 will merge with count 1. What I'm going to do is put you in a breakout room with the probation expert, Ms. James. Ms. James is going to explain everything that you need to know about probation. Understand that the quickest way to get rearrested or to fail in probation is to not go to your probation reports. You have to report for probation. But your probation officers are phenomenal, and they will do their best to make sure you successfully complete probation. So if you have any difficulties with anything I've asked you to do, make sure you tell them first, okay? Make sure you go directly to them and let them know you're having difficulties, and they'll help you smooth it over. But you just can't ignore them or not report you. We clear?
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right. So I'm going to put you and Ms. James in breakout room number 6. And once you finish speaking with Ms. James, you do not have to come back here to the main room. Just make sure that you do what you need to do, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
All right. All right. Take care, Ms. Smith. And you'll see the breakout room open now.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. Any other announcements? Ladies and gentlemen who are here for the 11 o'clock calendar, as I stated, we're finishing up a couple of cases on the 10 o'clock calendar. If we can get those done right now pretty quickly, I'm going to hold for a second before I give you the speech, and then we'll move into the 11 o'clock calendar. Still waiting on announcements for Champaign and Rowie.
Judge, as far as Mr. Champagne, we are going to ask for a one-time 30-day reset just to deal with some license issues that may or may not be involved here. But we would just ask for that one-time reset. And I think the state does not object.
State does not object, Your Honor. The state would prefer that it be placed on the June 12th calendar at 10 a.m.
Ms. Val, is the June 12th calendar available?
Don't leave it
Yes,
alone.
ma'am.
Okay, thank you. All right, so Mr. Champagne, you'll be back in court on June 12th. at 10 a.m. Okay, and please make sure whatever you and your attorney have discussed, make sure you get to started on that today. All right, you're free to go at this time, sir. All right, and last case is Rui.
Judge, I believe that is either going to be a plea or I'm just waiting on one confirmation from the state. If I could just have another 2 minutes, I think we will be ready to resolve that.
Okay, well, while you having that 2 minutes, I'm gonna go ahead and do the speech. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the arraignment calendar. This is the calendar where your case is appearing maybe for the first time before the trial court. The trial court is where your case will be resolved either through a plea, a trial, or an administrative action. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone is entitled to have an attorney represent you. If you cannot afford one or you need an attorney to be appointed to you, talk to me about that when we call your name. And then we can make that happen. But ladies and gentlemen, I expect to hear 3 types of pleas here during this calendar: not guilty, guilty, or nolo contendory. Not guilty means that you wish to have a trial by jury or judge. Your trial will take place at a later date. The state has the burden of proving the case against you beyond a reasonable doubt. And you have the Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. Well, what does that mean? The state carries the heavy lifting. They have to do all the work to present enough evidence that the court or the jury can find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You do not have to present evidence or testimony. You do not have to make any legal arguments. However, if you do wish to do those things, you may do that at your choice, but you're not forced to, or nobody can promise you anything to get you to do it. Further, ladies and gentlemen, if you plan to go to trial or to represent yourself, please be mindful, particularly in trial. The court cannot treat you differently than they would someone who's trained in procedures, evidence procedures, and all of those things that you learn in law school. So you would be at a disadvantage because the attorney would know how to make legal arguments, how to make objections, how to get evidence into the record of the court, and you may have be at a disadvantage for all of those things. So please be mindful if you're considering going to trial and proceeding without an attorney. We cannot make any accommodations for you. We will treat you the same way we treat an attorney, and you may be at a severe disadvantage with trying to navigate the rules and procedures of a trial. Now, if you were to go to trial, the maximum penalty, if you were convicted, could be up to 12 months in jail, a $5,000 fine, or both per offense. But if you were at trial and you were convicted and you believe that conviction was a mistake, you have the right to appeal that conviction within 30 days of the verdict of the court. And the appellate court might make a different decision. So those are the rights that come with having a trial. If you wish to enter a plea of guilty or nolo contendory, nolo, then we'll take those pleas today. You'll have the opportunity, you and your attorney, or you you and your attorney and the state, or you and the state will talk about what you wish to recommend to the court. And if you all can agree on something, you will make that recommendation. If you can't agree, then I'll take a recommendation from each of you and make the decision myself. If you are entering a plea of nolo, if you're entering a plea of guilty, it is because you believe you're guilty of the underlying offense that was charged. But you may not agree with every part of the factual every part of the factual basis that's given by the state, but you do agree that you're guilty. And also with nolo, you have the right to enter a plea of nolo because your consideration is that you know the state has evidence that they could use against you, and that evidence could result in a conviction at trial. If you do not wish to contest that evidence, but you also do not wish to enter a plea of guilty, then nolo plea means nolo contendory means I'm not contesting. Now, a nolo plea may have some benefits for you. If you are charged with traffic offenses, a nolo plea may help you avoid penalties on your, like a suspension of your license or points on your license if you are nolo eligible, meaning you have not used a nolo plea within the last 5 years for the same or similar offense. Now, if you are under 21, you're an under 21 driver, please be mindful that it only takes 4 points to suspend your license, and that will be a hard 6-month suspension, which means that you will not get a permit for work or school. You will have to go 6 months without the ability to drive at all. And for those of you who have a commercial driver's license and your livelihood, your ability to earn a living depends upon the viability of your commercial driver's license, please understand, we cannot tell you what might happen to your commercial driver's license because we don't do that kind of law and we don't give advice. So please check under the rules of the federal and state regulations for over the road or commercial driving. Please make sure you check on those things yourself to ensure that if you enter a plea or you go to trial, you know what's going to happen with your ability to earn a living. If you are not sure at this time, you can enter a plea of not guilty. You can do the work to figure it out. And then when you come back for trial, be prepared for trial or be prepared to take a plea at that time. I don't care which, but you will at least know what is going to happen with your commercial driver's license. And I say take this seriously because I just got a letter the other day about someone wanting to undo something because of the effect on their commercial driver's license. Well, it is so much harder to undo, and sometimes we cannot undo. It is much easier to figure it out on the front end and do it right. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the announcements for the arraignment calendar for 11 a.m. Courtroom 304, State of Georgia, Clayton County. I'm going to call the names, and when I do, I need to make sure that you are here. But if you have an attorney, your attorney will speak on your behalf. If you do not have an attorney, then we'll talk about whether you need one and whether the court can appoint at that time. Okay. All right, first case on the calendar is Eric Brandon Connor. Eric Brandon Connor.
Mr. Connor is present in the courtroom. He's requested to have a conference, so I'll just ask for a conference for Mr. Connor.
All right, next is Antoinette Dixon. Antoinette Dixon.
Your Honor, no one in the courtroom has stood up. State's.
Hello, ma'am. Ma'am. Hello.
Yes.
Can you hear me? I'm here.
Okay, well, ma'am, I see Lioness Impress. I don't know who that is.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's how my Zoom thing was hooked up for my business thing. I'm sorry. I didn't know it came up like that. I apologize. Because it already had my name saved as that when I logged in. So
what's your name, ma'am?
Antoinette Elaine Dixon. I apologize about that. It just had it set up like that.
1 second.
Thank you.
All right. So, ma'am, you're charged with no license and brakes and turn signals. Do you wish to have an attorney represent you, or do you wish to represent yourself?
Yes, ma'am. I can have an attorney represent me, please.
All right. So, Mr. Holton Dennis, I'm going to appoint you in Ms. Dixon's case. Todd Ephraim Dobbs. Todd Ephraim Dobbs.
Your Honor, state's going to null pros this case.
All right, Dobbs will be null pros. Anyone here on Dobbs, you're free to go at this time. Luis Alberto Escamilla Perez.
Judge Ross, Gordon here. In that case, my client's present. That's a negotiated plea at the court's convenience.
Okay, do you all need an interpreter?
Yes, and she's present in the courtroom, Judge.
All right, I'm ready now then.
Yeah, come on.
All right. Bring your client up. Come on up, sir. Hi, Miss Sonia.
Good morning.
¿Cómo está? ¿Cómo está?
Muy bien, Your Honor. ¿Y usted?
Bien. Feliz Día de la Madre.
Oh, gracias. Sí, igualmente.
Merci. Gracias. Mixing my languages. Mr. Perez, Escamilla Perez, you're before the court on case 2022 CR 01818. You're charged with no license and stop or yield sign violation. Raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
Yes.
You can put your hand down, sir. Sir, what is your client pleading to the offenses before the court?
He's pleading to the failure to obey a traffic control device charge, Judge.
The stop or yield sign?
Stop or yield, yes, Judge.
Okay. And he's entering a plea of guilty or nolo?
Guilty, Judge.
By entering a plea of guilty to count 2, count 1 will be no pros. You give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, to present evidence and testimony, to not incriminate yourself, to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. And if you are not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things, Mr. Escamilla Perez?
Yes.
For the attorney, sir, could you say your name for the court reporter and spell it for her?
Ross Gordon, ROSS, GORDON.
All right, thank you. All right, you good, Ms. Martin? I think when I heard it, but I was making sure I heard, and then it was kind of garbled. I was like, remember? Thank you. All right. Factual basis, recommendation, interpreter speed.
Yes, Your Honor. On November 17th of 2021, officers with the Lovejoy Police Department observed a vehicle driven by Mr. Escamilla Perez come to the intersection of East Bel Air Boulevard, of Bel Air Boulevard and East Lovejoy Road, and failed to come to a complete stop when passing through a clearly marked stop sign. Those are the facts of the case, Your Honor. The recommendation is a $100 fine, suspended for 1 day in jail, credit for time served.
All right. All right. So, sir, I'm going to accept your plea of guilty to count 2. Count 1 will be no prost. I'll sentence you to 1 day credit for time served and a $100 fine, which will be suspended. And you're free to go at this time, sir. Thank you.
No? Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Ms. Gordon.
Thank you, Judge. That concludes my business. May I be excused?
Yes, you may. Thank you, Ms. Sonia. Gracias.
What's the attorney's name? I need it for the court reporter.
I already gave it to her, Mr. Gordon.
Ross Gordon, ROSS, GORDON.
Ms. Martin, you heard that, right?
I got it, Judge. Thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right. All right, Herschel James Harris, that case was dismissed. Next case is Dominique Anita House. Dominique Anita House.
Your Honor, no one has responded in the courtroom. State requests a bench warrant bond forfeiture.
Last call for Dominique Anita House. Ladies and gentlemen, it's very important. I hope everybody has their first and last name on the screen. I'm looking, I do not see a Ms. House. Bench warrant bond forfeiture will be granted. Next is Daquan Jackson. Daquan Jackson, Mr. Holton Dennis.
Judge, I do not see Mr. Jackson on the platform. I know we did try to make contact.
All right, last call for Daquan Jackson, bench warrant, bond forfeiture.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, next is Cordero Joseph McCarter. I see Mr. McCarter on the screen. Mr. McCarter, let me see you.
I'm here.
Your Honor, the state is moving to no prospect case.
All right, Mr. McCarter, your case will be no pros. You're free to go at this time. Just make sure you keep all of your documents in good order, okay?
Thank you.
All right, take care, sir. Next is LaSparkle McClure. LaSparkle McClure. LaSparkle McClure.
Your Honor, the state is requesting a bench warrant bond forfeiture.
All right, last call for LaSparkle McClure. Bench warrant bond forfeiture will be granted. Next is Marquise Roland Mitchell. Marquise Roland Mitchell. Marquise Roland Mitchell.
No response in the courtroom.
State's requesting a bench warrant bond forfeiture, Your Honor.
Bench warrant bond forfeiture will be granted. Shamari Mitchell. Shamari Mitchell.
There's Shamari Mitchell.
State's requesting a bench warrant bond forfeiture, Your Honor.
Last call for Shamari Mitchell. Bench warrant bond forfeiture will be granted. Randall Allen Polk. Randall Allen Polk. Last call for Randall Allen Polk. All right.
State's requesting a bench warrant bond forfeiture.
Bench warrant bond forfeiture will be granted. Next is Raphael Wallace. Mr. Wallace is on the screen.
Hello. Good morning.
Hello. Hi, Mr. Wallace.
Hello.
Mr. Wallace is represented by Lister Holton Dennis.
Judge, I would request a conference with Mr. Wallace, and I may ask to do that in a breakout room whenever we move on to the next thing.
All right, so Mr. Wallace, at the appropriate time, they're gonna speak with you directly, and you're going to have the opportunity to have a private conversation. You'll get an invitation to the breakout room, but until that time, just go ahead and mute yourself, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right. Next is Ivory M. Washington. Ivory M. Washington. Ivory.
Judge Washington is present in the courtroom.
Good morning, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Washington, you're charged with DUI less safe, wrong side of the road, in open container. Do you have an attorney represent you?
No, I do not.
Okay, do you wish to have an attorney appointed?
Yes.
All right, the attorneys in the courtroom will begin speaking with you about your case.
Okay, thank you.
All right, have a seat. Okay. Not sure what the first name is. It looks like Ma Shantice Adrienne Wright.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Oh, hi. Okay, so they put a separation in between the Ma and the Shantice.
It should be M.A. apostrophe C.H.
Oh, okay.
That's why.
Pronounce your name for me.
It's Mashantis.
Mashantis.
Adriana Wright.
Okay, thank you. All right. So Ms. Wright, you're represented by Lister Holton Dennis. Mr. Lynch, Ms. Wright is present by video.
Judge, I would request if Ms. Wright, I'm going to send you a chat. If you can respond with your best phone number, and I'm going to, hopefully we can have a private conversation. You'll need to mute your microphone on here. Hopefully you're on your computer. If not, I'll send you a text and we'll figure out how we can speak privately. And so, Judge, we would request a conference. I'm going to get her information.
No problem. All right, so let me go over the calendar. Mr. Connor is in the courtroom and he'll be requesting a conference. Dixon is by video. They're conferencing with the attorneys. Mr. Dixon was appointed, or Miss Dixon, I'm sorry, I may have that wrong. Mitchell, I'm sorry, Dobbs is a no pros. Escamilla Perez was a plea. Harris is a no pros. House, bench warrant bond forfeiture. Jackson, bench warrant bond forfeiture. McCarter, no pros. Mitchell, M, bench warrant bond forfeiture. Mitchell, S, bench warrant bond forfeiture. Polk, bench warrant bond forfeiture. Wallace is a conference by video. Washington is in the courtroom, and Wright is video. So we have Connor, Dixon, Wallace, Washington, and Wright that are outstanding.
Yes, Your Honor, and I do have an announcement from the 10 o'clock and one miscellaneous request for the court, if I may.
Okay, go ahead.
So, Judge, I do have Mercedes Dixon on the platform. Miss Dixon, could you turn on your camera? She actually was supposed to appear on May 5th for an arraignment. She contacted me, and apparently we had the wrong contact information for her. I know it was going to be an issue for her to get here in person, so I would request if the court would consider a bench warrant set aside if there's no objection. I'm not sure. She's present.
Okay, then if you had the wrong information, we had the wrong information, which means she did not update her information.
I'm not exactly sure where the disconnect hacked, and I know that as soon as she found out about that she had missed court, she did contact my office, Judge.
Okay.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I have moved. That's what happened.
What?
No, Miss Dixon, Miss Antoinette Dixon, we're not talking to you. There's a Mercedes Dixon who's also on.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, I got a warrant. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. All right.
Yes, and that's Your Honor, what happened with me. I was ended up moving and I was in a hotel. So it was just kind of a lot going on.
Okay. Mr. Lynch, what is she charged with?
Judge, I believe it's a simple battery. If I'm not
Is it something that can be resolved today, or is it something you need time with?
I would request just a little bit of time, Judge, especially I'm not sure if the state is, but I think it's something we can get resolved rather quickly.
And so the court is aware, Your Honor, it is a battery, not a simple battery, but it is not domestic violence. It's just battery.
Okay. All right. All right. So this is what I require. Miss Dixon is going to have to change her address with the clerk's office. And Mr. Lynch, you or Mr. Taylor instruct her as to how to do that. I will lift the bench warrant. So we'll do a bench warrant set aside. Miss Dixon, please make sure you keep in touch with the Lister Holton Dennis, but you need to go through the steps to go ahead and update your address to wherever you will get the best contact information, okay? All right, because we mail stuff. We're still old school, so we mail stuff to you. And if we're mailing it to an old address or an address that we had a while ago, it's still gonna come to that address, and we've still done what we need to do legally. So just make sure that you update your information, okay? Also, the second thing, Ms. Dixon, I know these cases are old, but you still have bond conditions that require you to not have contact with a particular person or possibly go back to a particular location. If you're not sure what those bond conditions are, you need to come to the courthouse on the first floor and get a copy through the state court clerk's office, or contact them about how to get a copy if you're not present in the state of Georgia. And then that way you'll be able to review your bond conditions so that you don't violate them. If you were to violate them, you could be rearrested, remain in jail until you resolve the case, and you could also be charged with additional misdemeanors or felonies. Are you clear on all of these things, Ms. Dixon?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Val, do we have a date that we can set Ms. Mercedes Dixon on so that we can get her case moving?
Do we want to put it in June?
I'm sorry, what now? I mean, yeah, like the June calendar is fine with me, but I just wanted to make sure she has the opportunity to get all of her ducks in a row.
Let's put it on June 12th at 11 a.m.
Okay, so Ms. Dixon, you're gonna be back here, same sign in and everything, June 12th at 11 a.m., okay?
And Ms. Dixon, I sent you a chat. Please respond with that information.
Yes.
All right. All right, so did you have an announcement for Rui?
Yes, Judge, we are going to go forward with the negotiated plea.
All right, 1 second, and I'll be.
Okay, sure. I'll go ahead and chat on that.
Yeah, because we're gonna have to, our office has to look it up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, next is Rui from the 10 o'clock calendar.
Yes, Judge. And I think that's Ms. Ponder's case.
Yes, I have it. I'm ready. Thank you, Ms. Lynch.
All right, is he in here's, oh, there he is, Mr. Rui. All right, so sir, raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true. I can't hear you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. You can put your hand down. Sir, you're before the court on State of Georgia versus Demetrius Allen Rowe, 2022 CR 01721 for battery family violence count 1, battery count 2, simple battery family violence count 3, and simple battery count 4. You're represented by the law firm of Lister Holton Dennis. Mr. Lynch, what does your client plead to the offenses before the court?
Yes, Judge, she does enter a plea of guilty at this time.
To count 1?
Yes, Judge.
All right, counts 2, 3, and 4 will merge. Mr. Rowe, by entering a plea of guilty to count 1, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself. And if you are not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, factual basis and recommendation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. On July the 4th, 2021, officers responded to 8420 Terra Boulevard, Jonesboro, Georgia, which is the location of the Hotel 1 extended stay, in reference to a domestic dispute. When officers arrived on scene, officers learned they spoke with a Julia Shada, Julia, last name Shada, Schade. Officers learned during the course of their investigation that the defendant did place his hands around the victim's neck, causing red bruising and a busted lip. Those are the facts of the case, Your Honor. The state's recommendation is as follows: 12 months probation, a $300 fine, 40 hours of community service, to enroll and complete the Family Violence Intervention Program, and to have the state's position is to have no contact with the victim. However, it's my understanding that the victim is present on the Zoom call and she would like to address the court. So as far as contact, Your Honor, the state will defer to the court whether or not there should be violent or harassing contact. That is all from the state, Your Honor, and the victim would like to make a victim impact statement.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here.
Raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down. Okay, tell me what you need me to know.
I just wanted to state that I do not fear for my safety when it comes to Demetrius Roy. I would love for the bond condition to be lifted to where we could have full contact again, considering the fact that he hasn't seen his daughter in 4 years. I have been sober since that incident happened, which has been 4 years, which did play a huge part in what happened that night. I don't know if I can go into detail right now, but Demetrius Roy had left that night. He didn't do anything to me. I had been drinking for 10 years and I had alcohol psychosis, which would cause me to have delusions and hallucinations to the point where I would hurt myself. And I would end up in a mental hospital and multiple hospitals, actually. So I completely gave up alcohol from that day. I've been 4 years sober, and I would love for that bond condition to be lifted. And like I said, I do not fear for my safety. There have been obviously no further incidences, and I'm not pursuing anything when it comes to this case.
Okay. All right, and I don't want to get too deep into your situation, but are you in a consistent, I always say this about people who have issues with alcohol. It's like if you have diabetes or high blood pressure, when you fail to treat it consistently, those are chronic illnesses, which means that they will always need to be treated. And if you fail to do that, then you'll suffer some dire consequences. Are you in a situation where you're treating your chronic illness?
So after that incident, I did reach out for some help, and it came down to the point where it was only the alcohol that was causing me to have those mental episodes. And when I completely stopped drinking, detoxed myself and cleaned myself out, I was able to speak to people and have the support system that I needed. I am completely 100% a completely changed person. I'm definitely not that same person that I was 4 years ago at all now.
I got you, and I applaud all of that. The only thing I say is when I see somebody drop off the deep end, and what I mean by that is when I see a whole line of behavior that is exemplary, and then all of a sudden something happens, it is usually because of a trauma, meaning like a grief event or some kind of traumatic event. What I want for you, since you've acknowledged that you have this issue, which led to Mr. Rowe having to be apart from his daughter and having to suffer these consequences, since you've acknowledged you have this issue, don't just depend on yourself. The Bible says, lean not to thine own understanding. Not quote, quote, it's a good quote. It's not because I'm trying to preach to you, but
No, you're fine. Yes,
this is that a lot of times when people acknowledge that they have an issue, like I said, you need support and you need those things to shore up what you've been able to do for yourself. And I applaud everything you've been able to do. But what I want for you is that there be no event that takes you off of that. Because in every life, rain falls. Everybody has something that happens. But I don't want you to get off the path of sobriety because you don't have those support systems. So AA is a great place. There's other programs that you could, for maintenance, be involved. That's all I say. All right. So Mr. Rowe, I'm going to accept your plea of guilty, sir. I'll send you to 12 months probation, a fine in the amount of $300, which will be $444, 40 hours of community service. And you're to take a family violence intervention program, and you're to have no violent or harassing contact with Ms. Shade. This is the other thing I say. You all are parents. And what I would say is because you're not together, that's fine, but it's probably best to go through the courts and get a visitation, custody, legitimation, all of those things done so that you all have a roadmap for how to co-parent. And everybody says, oh, we just doing fine. And that works until it doesn't. So what I say is it is always best to have a roadmap that helps you to co-parent together in a sane and consistent manner, because your child deserves that. And if, people avoid the courts for a lot of reasons, and I get that. But what I say also is the structure is what makes it easier for your child. It really does. And they benefit from that structure. So please make that effort to make sure that your child has a structured relationship with both parents so that they don't suffer if either of you are just out of sorts for some reason. Okay? All right. So Mr. Roy, I'm going to counts 2, 3, and 4 will merge. I will put you in a breakout room with Miss James. Miss James is going to explain everything that you need to know and answer any questions you have about probation, and she'll get you signed up. Two things. The quickest way to get rearrested is to not show up for your probation reports. If you are having trouble with any of the special conditions that I have given you to do, and all of the conditions are special conditions, please make sure that you talk to your probation officers. These are some of the best people I know, and they're here to make sure that you successfully complete probation, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
And take your time reestablishing your relationship with your daughter, okay?
Okay.
All right? All right. Thank you. I'm gonna put
Thank
you in a
you, Your
breakout.
Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ma'am, and congratulations on recognizing the problem and addressing the problem.
Yes,
Okay?
ma'am. Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Rowie, I'm going to put you in a breakout room with Miss James. You do not have to come back here to the main room unless you have a particular question, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Am I
Thank
to
you.
be dismissed, Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am, you're free to go at this time.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, so that concludes the 10 a.m. calendar. The 11 o'clock calendar, do we need some time, or do we have some announcements? I tell you what, y'all go ahead and talk, and I'm going to go ahead and start signing. So when you need me, just tell me.
Judge, I'm sorry, can I request a breakout room with Raphael Wallace?
Yes. Got you.
Thank you.
All right.
Give me a couple minutes.
All right, I'll put you in breakout room number 2. Mr. Wallace in breakout room number 2. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Your Honor,
Yes, Ms. Dixon.
was you supposed to assign me into a breakout room?
Not yet, Ms. Dixon.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I'll let you know.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Your Honor, we do have a negotiated plea for Mr. Wallace.
All right, Mr. Wallace, raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes, Your Honor.
Get that right here. Make copies, everything, the blue sheet, the blue sheet yours.
All right, so Mr. Wallace, you're before the court on 2022 CR 01825, Raphael Wallace, for driving on a suspended or revoked license, count 1, no license, count 2, failure to change your license, address your demographic information within 30 days, count 3, and stop or yield sign violation, count 4. Mr. Lynch, what is your client plead to the offenses before the court?
Judge, he's going to ask the court to take a no contest plea to count 3, and the remaining charges are going to be null pros pursuant to the agreement with the state.
Okay, by entering a plea of nolo to count 3, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself or present any testimony or evidence against yourself. And if you're not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, factual basis and recommendation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. On April the 17th, 2022, officers conducted a traffic stop on Grand River Road in Chattahoochee Court, located here in Clayton County, Georgia. Officers observed a 2019 Mercedes-Benz failed to stop at a stop sign. Those are the facts of the case, Your Honor. The state's recommendation for count 4 is a $100 fine. The state is moving to dismiss count 1, 2, 3, and 3.
So I'm pretty sure we're
3
good.
or 4?
I'm pretty sure we're good with that, Ms. Ponder, but I think we had a miscommunication because I told my client we're pleading to count 3. It may not make a difference, but if I can maybe do a quick, and I do apologize. I think when we were texting, maybe the wrong.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. It was for the stop sign versus count 3 unlicensed resident. That will be dismissed because that's the that's
Can I,
going with his driver's license. So I do apologize about that.
No worries. And that likely doesn't make a difference, but just to be safe, can I go back in a breakout room with Mr. Wallace real briefly, just to make sure that doesn't change anything for him since that's a moving violation?
Okay, 1 second. Mr. Wallace, you should be able to activate your screen, and you and Mr. Lynch are still in the same breakout room. You got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Same for the courtroom.
Judge, thank you for allowing me that time. Mr. Wallace does understand he does want to go forward with the plea to count 4. He does ask for a no contest plea, and I've explained to him all the license consequences or lack thereof.
All right. So I'll accept the plea of no contest to count 4, which is stop or yield sign violation. Counts 1, 2, and 3 will be no pros. By entering these pleas, sir, you understand all of the rights, and the fine will be what on that, Ms. Ponder?
Your Honor, it'll be a $100 fine suspended.
All right. All right, sir. So, NOLO plea fine is $100. That will be suspended. You're free to go at this time, and please be safe and make sure you keep your license in good stead.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Take care. All right. Any other announcements? We still have Washington, Wright, and Connor and Dixon.
Okay, Judge, I think Mr. Taylor may have an announcement on Connor, and I'm going to step out and call Miss Wright momentarily.
All right, Ms. Wright, please make sure you remain muted so we don't hear anything. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. In the matter of Eric Brandon Connor, case 2022 CR 01779. That will
Yes.
be a not guilty plea today.
Okay, Mr. Connor, the court will accept your plea of not guilty. What's the offense on Connor?
Simple assault.
Okay, Mr. Connor, please make sure that you get your bond conditions, review those so that you do not have any possibility of violating your bond, which if you were to do that, you could have your bond revoked, remain in jail, be charged with additional misdemeanors or felonies, okay? So you can go down to the first floor and look at, go to the clerk's office and ask for a copy of your bond if you are not aware or don't remember what those conditions are. Free to go at this time. All right.
Judge, I do have an announcement. Oh, and they emailed me this stuff. Just trying to see if we can get lunch, man. First, we gotta get out of this now. That's why. Your Honor, may I make an announcement and a request?
He's gonna need a person check. After he got permission from his founder, I believe.
Miss Antoinette Dixon, this is Owen Lynch from Lister Holton Dennis. If you don't mind, check through the chat function. I chatted you a question. If you can just answer that for me.
Okay, let me see.
Ms. Dixon, go ahead and mute yourself. When the judge gets back, so I'm gonna ask to talk to you in a breakout room about this, okay? But please chat me the answer to that question if you can. Ms. Dixon, I'm sorry if you already did this, but can you chat me your phone number? I'm gonna go ahead and give you a call, just to make sure you understand what we're gonna do. Thank you. Turn off your camera.
ready to proceed with an announcement from the 11 o'clock calendar.
All right, I'm ready. What's the announcement?
Mr. Taylor, you want to go first?
Hello?
Yes, Judge, sorry. Mr. Taylor's going to make an announcement.
In the matter of Mr. Washington on the 10 o'clock calendar, that's a DUI wrong way and I believe open container.
Yes.
Not guilty at this time.
All right, Mr. Washington, please make sure that you keep in touch with your attorneys. Please make sure you're mindful of what you've already been charged with and don't get any other charges such of that nature. And in fact, based on your bond conditions, it could be a violation of your bond conditions to get any additional charges. So be mindful of that. If you were to violate your bond conditions, you could be you could have your bond revoked. You can be rearrested and charged with additional misdemeanors or felonies and stay in jail until your case is resolved. So please be mindful of all those things and keep in touch with your attorneys. All right, free to go. Thank you. All right.
Your Honor, I do have 2 additional announcements.
All right, go ahead.
For Miss Wright, or I'm sorry, yeah. We're going to enter a not guilty plea at this time.
All right, same announcement, Ms. Wright. Please make sure you keep in touch with your attorneys. Please make sure that you don't violate your bond conditions. If you do not know what those are, please make sure you get a copy from the state court clerk's office on the first floor of 9151 Terra Boulevard. If you're outside the jurisdiction, please contact them through phone or email. Through the website attorneys, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, next.
Judge Antoinette Dixon, she did request court-appointed counsel. We will have that appointment order to you today. Miss Dixon, we are requesting a one-time reset. Reason being, she's in the process of getting her license straightened out between Georgia and Florida. And I believe if we get one-time reset, she can have that straightened out and it may have a positive impact in her case. We would.
All right, we can do 6/12, 11 a.m. calendar.
Okay.
So June 12th, 11 a.m. calendar, ma'am. Please make sure you have everything done when you come back, okay?
Can you give me like another extra 15 days just in case, please?
And
No.
Judge,
And reason being is because, like I just explained to my attorney, I literally had to fly up here because every time I was faxing Georgia my documents, it was showing the seal is not, it comes in black and white. So I had to come up here and I'm going to go up there when I hang up with you guys today. My boyfriend's going to take me to the DMV. If I don't get seen today, because I paid everything, I'm going to have to try to make an appointment. So I don't want to, if you could just give me like an extra 10 days, that's fine. But I got everything paid for. I just got to come up here and give them my documents. That's it.
Lynch.
so Judge, if Your Honor would consider, I know additional time, but if not, I will talk to Ms. Dixon and try to see if there's a way I can facilitate that. We could keep the June 12th court date and
do that because I just went
That's
to the
fine.
dealer. They have some new ways of keep getting you in and out very quickly. And I know
Okay.
it's different for different things, but I walked in and got a whole license renewal and paid and all of that. And I was out in about 25 minutes. So please, make sure that you do everything necessary to try and get it done by June 12th.
and I'm sorry, Ms. Dixon, you can appear on June 12th via Zoom. And we can talk more about some issues as far as how we can get it
So I
dealt
keep
with.
the same link information, everything for the Zoom? That's gonna be the same ID number?
More
Yes,
than
ma'am.
likely,
It
but-
is the exact same.
Okay. Thank you so much. You guys have a blessed day and happy belated Mother's Day of your mother, man.
All right, you too.
Thank you.
All right. So anything else on the 11 o'clock calendar?
Judge, I think that concludes the calendar unless, does anyone have anything that we missed?
All right, so we'll
Ready to go?
yes, ma'am. We'll
Thank
be
you,
in
ma'am. Have a
recess
blessed day.
till about 1:05. That way we can make sure that everybody gets in.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, so we'll be back. Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Judge Tammy Long Hayward. This is the State Court of Clayton County. This is courtroom 304. This is the arraignment calendar. This is the first time probably that many of you have had your case appear on a trial court calendar. This is where your case will be resolved through a plea, a trial, or some other administrative function. Everyone is entitled to have an attorney represent you. If you do not have an attorney, wish to have one, talk to me when your name is called. The court may be able to appoint an attorney to you. Ladies and gentlemen, I expect to hear 3 types of pleas during this arraignment calendar: not guilty, guilty, or nolo contendere, no contest. If you enter in a plea of not guilty, it means you wish to have a trial at a later date. The state bears the burden of proving the case against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Means that you don't have to give any evidence for testimony. You just have to be present, but you don't have to do anything else because the state bears that burden. You also have a Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination, which means that nobody can make you testify, nobody can make you incriminate yourself in any way or provide any information or evidence during the course of the trial. If you were to go to trial, you have the option of having a trial by jury or a trial by judge. But in either case, a conviction at trial could result in a conviction, a sentence of $1,000 fine. I'm sorry, a $5,000 fine, 12 months in jail, or both per offense. Please be mindful, ladies and gentlemen, that if you choose to proceed without an attorney, you could have some serious consequences because the court can't treat you any differently than they would treat someone who is knowledgeable about the rules of evidence and procedure. So an attorney and a lay person will be treated the exact same way. You may not be able to get evidence into the record of the court. You may not be able to challenge any arguments made by the state or make any legal arguments on your own. You may not be able to understand rulings of the court or objections ruled on by the court or made by the attorneys. So please be mindful. I know it looks easy on TV, but proceeding on your own could have some serious detriment to you. Ladies and gentlemen, at trial, if you were convicted and you believe that conviction was a mistake, you would have within 30 days of the court's verdict to appeal your case to an appellate court. An appellate court might make a different decision in your case. So those are the rights that come with having a trial and entering a plea of not guilty. The trial will not take place today. You'll have plenty of time to prepare. So please be mindful of that. The trials also take place in person. So if you're on video, you would not be able to participate in trial by video. You would come to court to participate in trial. All right. If you're entering a plea of guilty, it means you feel you're guilty of the underlying offense. Even if you don't agree about the factual basis presented by the state's attorney, you do agree that you committed the underlying offense and you wish to be sentenced. And if you enter a plea of nolo contendere means I'm not contesting. It means that you understand the state has evidence that they can present against you in a trial. That evidence could result in a conviction. And if you were convicted, you would have the right to an appeal. However, in a nolo plea, you're saying that you understand there's this evidence out there that could result in a conviction. You don't want to contest that evidence, but you also do not wish to enter a plea of guilty or admit guilt. And in that case, the nolo plea has some benefits, particularly in traffic offenses. If you are charged with a traffic offense and you have a nolo plea available to you, it will help you avoid points on your license, and it may help you avoid a suspension of your license. Now, to be nolo eligible means that you have not used a nolo plea within the last 5 years for the same or similar offense. So if you're nolo eligible, we'll talk to you about that at the time that you come before the court. And the last thing, if you have a commercial driver's license, if the way you make your living is by driving a commercial vehicle and you have a license for that, please be mindful that you want to do your research and know what can happen if you take a plea or get convicted during a trial, because we can't tell you. It involves federal law and state law, and we don't do that here. So if you wish to enter a plea or you wish to go to trial, be mindful of what could happen because it's so hard to undo it. And it may be impossible to undo it. And it may seriously affect your ability to earn a living. Now, if you wish to enter a plea of not guilty, and while you are preparing for trial, you can figure out how a plea or a trial might affect your commercial driver's license, then you can work that out. And then if you're ready, when you come to trial, you can either go to trial or take a plea on that date. Doesn't matter to me. As long as we move the case and we do so in a manner that respects the Constitution of constitutional rights of the state and the defense, fine with that. But just will give you time to figure out how this might affect your ability to earn a living. Okay, last thing, if you're an under 21 driver, if you're under the age of 21, understand you only need 4 points to suspend your license, and that will be a hard suspension, 6 months, no permit for school or work. So please be mindful of that. A NOLO plea may work for you, but it may not. So please be mindful of that when you're speaking with the state, and be mindful if you've already used a NOLO plea that it might not be available to you to assist you in that way. All right. At this time, I'm going to call the calendar. I need to know that you are here. I'm looking at the screen. It looks like everybody has their first and last name on the screen. That is perfect. Once I call your name, please let your attorney speak on your behalf if you have one. If you don't have an attorney, then I'm going to talk directly to you about your rights and how we'll proceed. Okay. First case on the calendar is Joshua Gary Christian. Joshua Gary Christian.
Yes, ma'am. Can you?
Mr. Christian is on the call there. I would just request if I can probably do a breakout room, but just in case, Mr. Christian, if you don't mind, if you can use the chat function and chat the best phone number for you to courtroom 304. And then I'm either going to ask for a breakout room or I'm going to call you on your phone and have a conversation about how you want to proceed.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right. So, Mr. Christian, I'm just going to ask you to mute your device while you do those things, okay?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Take care. Terrence Christian. Terrence Christian has 3 cases.
Yes, Judge. Mr. Christian is present in the courtroom. I'm going to request a conference with the state.
All right. So at the appropriate time, I'm going to give you a breakout room with the state.
Your Honor, state's present in the courtroom.
Oh, okay, Mr. Tipton. All right, cool. Next is, okay. Rosier Brilliant Coulter.
Judge, present and on the Zoom call, Judge, I'm going to request a conference with the state, and I will request if Mr. Coulter can send me his best phone number through the chat. I'll either request a breakout room or potentially call you to have a private conversation.
All right. Well, mute your device while you're doing that, Mr. Coulter. Martinez Hall.
Judge, it doesn't appear that a waiver was filed. Looks like Jason Monroe, and I think we filed a withdrawal on that.
Okay. All right, next case is David Wayne Hayes. David Wayne Hayes.
David Wayne Hayes in here. Your Honor, no one is responding in the courtroom. State would request a bench warrant.
Last call for David Wayne Hayes. Bench warrant will be granted. Next is Christopher Lewis. Mr. Lewis. Christopher Lewis.
Mr. Lewis present in the courtroom. Your Honor, no one is answering. State would request a bench warrant bond forfeiture.
All right, last call for Christopher E. Lewis. Bench warrant bond forfeiture. All right, next case is Daniel Stephen Lee Lofton.
Your Honor, state's going to null pros.
All right, thank you. Lofton, anybody here on Daniel Stephen Lee Lofton? That case will be null pros. Next is Angelo Monesteem Lewinsky, or Lewinsky Angelo Monesteem.
State is requesting a bench warrant.
I don't see that.
Case 2022 CR 01870, Lewinsky, Angelo, Monesteem. All right, bench warrant will be granted. All right, Michaela Patricia Myers. Michaela Patricia Myers. Last call for Michaela Patricia Myers.
Your Honor, the state is requesting a bench warrant bond forfeiture.
Bench warrant bond forfeiture will be granted. Next is Cassandra Renee Patterson.
Your Honor, the state
I'm
is
here.
across that case.
All right, Ms. Patterson, that case will be no pros. You're free to go at this time. Thank you.
You have a great day.
All right, you too. Shazah Pierce. Shazia Pierce.
Your Honor, the state is requesting a bench warrant bond forfeiture.
Last call for Shazia Pierce. Bench warrant bond forfeiture will be granted. Mr. Lofton, your case has been dismissed, sir. You're free to go.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Thank you. I was
right.
not sure. I wanted to know. I didn't know what that meant. Thank you so
No
much.
problem. I'm
Y'all
sorry.
have a
Take
good day.
care. You too. Be safe. Alasia Lynn Real. Alasia Lynn Real.
Miss Williams is present in the courtroom.
You say Miss Real is in the courtroom?
Yes, Your Honor.
This is Miss Real. Right.
Okay. Miss Real, are you seeking counsel for this case?
I need an attorney.
Okay. Mr. Taylor or Mr. Lynch, if you'll speak to Miss Real. Miss Real, you're charged with driving under the influence, count 1, driving under the influence less safe, count 2, license not on person, count 3, improper lane change, count 4, prohibited parking, count 5, and fleeing from the police, count 6.
Thank you, Judge. And I believe she requested a court-appointed attorney. If that's the case, I'll go ahead and speak to her. Was that we?
Yes, that was what I believe to be the case. All right, next is Emmanuel Williams. Emmanuel Williams.
I'm present, Judge.
I see you, Mr. Williams. Mr. Williams, you're before the court for no license and improper U-turn. Do you wish to have an attorney or do you wish to speak directly with the state? If there's documents that you can present that may have an effect on your case.
That is correct.
I'll speak directly to the state.
Are you over 21, Mr. Williams?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so I'll put you in a breakout room with Ms. Ponder. Please, if you have your license or documents that show the state of your license, please gather those so you can speak with her, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. I'll put you in a breakout room in a moment. And the last, yes?
I'm currently in the courtroom, so I'm just gonna send Mr.
Oh,
Williams.
just let me know when it's best.
I'll get the contact.
Yeah. Mr. Williams, she's gonna send you a chat. You'll see a red box with a white number in it. Click on that, and she's gonna request whatever information she needs and tell you how to present it to her.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. And last case is Quintara Jalicia Wright. Quintara Jalicia Wright. Last call for Quintara Jalicia Wright.
Your Honor, the state is moving to no process case.
All right, case will be no process. All right, so let me go back over the calendar before we start breaking out. J. Christian is on video and needs a conference. T. Christian is in the courtroom and they'll be speaking with the state. Coulter is on video. And needs a conference. Paul is a waiver. Hayes, bench warrant. Lewis, bench warrant bond forfeiture. Lofton, no pros. Monestein, bench warrant. Myers, bench warrant bond forfeiture. Patterson, no pros. Pierce, bench warrant bond forfeiture. Real is going to be a conference. Williams, conference with the state. And last is Wright, no pros. All right, so let me know who needs to be placed where, and then we'll wait for announcements. Did I say Pierce? Yeah, bench warrant bond forfeiture. All right, so the remaining cases that I'm awaiting announcements for are Christian J, Christian T, Coulter, Real, and Williams. All right, we'll be back.
Okay. Okay, for the no loss 500, try 500 suspended, meaning you do not have to pay.
That's all. Yeah, it's good for Robinson.
Mr. And Your Honor, I have two announcements for the court.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the first announcement, I know the state requested for, I think it's Michaela Myers, a bench warrant bond forfeiture. Your Honor,
Yes.
the state is gonna move to null pros that case.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. The second announcement is for Emmanuel Williams. I have been speaking with Mr. Williams.
Yes.
It's my understanding he is ready to enter a nolo plea to count 1 and 2.
All right, Mr. Williams,
Yes, Your Honor.
raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can put your hand down. So you're before the court on 2022 CR 01874. I'm sorry, 2021 CR 08371 for no license and improper U-turn. And sir, it's my understanding that you are over 21 and you're choosing to represent yourself. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You're entering a plea of nolo to counts 1 and 2. Is that true?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So by entering a plea of nolo to counts 1 and 2, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself or present any testimony or evidence against yourself. And Mr. Williams, if you're not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, factual basis recommendation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. On October the 17th, 2021, officers observed the defendant's vehicles making an improper U-turn, excuse me, in an unsafe manner on Church Street at West Lee Mills Road, located here in Clayton County, Georgia. When officers made contact with the defendant, it was determined that he did not have a valid license at that time. Those are the facts of the case, Your Honor. The state's recommendation for count 1 is 12 months probation, to complete 50 hours of community service, a $500 fine suspended, and the balance of probation terminates upon completion. On count 2 is a $100 fine suspended.
All right. All right, so Mr. Williams, whatever's going on with your documents, go ahead and get that taken care of, sir, because it's so much easier to, make sure that, I know it might be tough to get back to even, but once you get them back, just make sure you are very protective of your license and insurance and all of those things, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and now I'm going to accept your plea of nolo to counts 1 and 2. On count 1, I'll sentence you to 12 months probation to do 50 hours of community service in lieu of the $500 fine that will be suspended. And as soon as you have completed the 50 hours of community service and show proof of that to probation, your probation can terminate. While you're on probation, you do have to report. Failure to report is the quickest way to get rearrested. So please make sure that you do report and that you do show proof of having completed, okay?
Okay.
All right, so
Okay.
count two will be a $100 fine suspended, and that will run concurrent with count 1. What I'm gonna do next is put you in a breakout room with Miss James, who is the probation expert. She's going to make sure that you understand all of the responsibilities with probation, and you can ask any questions that are particular to your situation. Once you have completed probation, as quickly as you can, you'll be done with it. You understand?
Thank you, Your Honor. I
All right.
understand.
Okay, so Mr. Williams, when I put you in the breakout room with Miss James, once you're finished speaking with her, you do not have to come back to the main room. Just get started on whatever it is you need to do for probation.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, take care. I'm putting you in the breakout room now. All right, next. You all have another announcement?
Judge, I do have one announcement, and then I got a couple cases to deal with, and I should be able to resolve it. But I can go ahead and make an announcement on Terrence Christian, present in the courtroom. He does have 3 matters on the calendar. We are going to enter not guilty pleas at this time. He is going to take some steps, and then hopefully we can get a resolution.
Yeah, let's take lots of steps. Mr. Christian, not sure why we have all these cases piling up, but let's try and not do this anymore, okay? So we're gonna do a not guilty. You're gonna work with your attorneys and keep in touch with your attorneys so that by the time you come back the next time, we'll be able to resolve your case either through pleas or trials or some other action. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so sir, you good and grown. These kinds of things, let's not have those happen, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, keep in touch with your. All right. All right, anything else at this time?
No, Judge, I'm actually about to step out in the hall, call Mr. Joshua Christian, and then move through the rest of them. I should be able to get that done quick.
All right, so I just remind you all that keep your device muted if you're speaking with your attorney on the phone, okay? All right, we'll be back.
Judge, I do have an announcement.
Go ahead.
Judge Joshua Christian is here. We have come to a negotiated resolution in his matter.
Mr. Christian, raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can put your hand down, sir. 1 second. You're before the court of the State of Georgia versus Joshua Gary Christian, 2022 CR 01866 for no license, count 1, wrong side of the road, count 2, defective headlights, count 3, seatbelt violation, count 4, failure to dim headlights, count 5, failure to obey traffic device, count 6, and marijuana 1 ounce or less, count 7. What is your client plead to the offenses before the court, Mr. Lynch?
Judge, he's going to enter a no contest plea to count 2, wrong side of the roadway, and the remaining charges, at least against Mr. Joshua Gary Christian, are going to be null pros. And actually, I believe everything else was null pros as well.
All right.
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right. So, Mr. Christian, how old are you?
I'll be 23 tomorrow, ma'am.
Oh, no.
Okay. Well, happy birthday. As a
Thank
gift to yourself, understand how important driving is. Georgia is not one of those states where you have a lot of leeway when it comes to buses and trains and all of that. You need a driver's license. You
Yes,
want to
ma'am.
be very careful with your driver's license. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So all of this, we're going to chalk up to youthful indiscretion, but we've learned.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate you, Your Honor.
All right. So now I'm going to accept your plea of nolo to count 2. Counts 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 will be no pros. By entering the plea of nolo, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself, and if you're not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, factual basis recommendation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. On April the 22nd, 2022, officers conducted a traffic stop on Battle Creek Road and King Road located here in Clayton County, Georgia. Officers observed the defendant drive on the wrong side of the roadway in order to pass another motorist and then stopped on that wrong side of the road. Those are the facts of the case, Your Honor. The state's recommendation in this case against Mr. Christian.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Christian to
Thank
plead
you, ma'am.
count 2, a $300 fine, and all other counts will be dismissed. And that's
All right. Mr. Christian, so the fine is $300, but it'll actually be $444 with the surcharges. And sir, I always give you, if you're not at the courthouse, at least 30 days to pay. Did you need more? I can give you up to 60 days.
Yes, ma'am. That's what I was. 60 days would be fine. Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
No problem. So Mr. Lynch, can you forward his email address to Ms. Wright, or do I need Mr. Christian to do that?
Just maybe Mr. Christian, can you get on the chat function?
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't think it's Ms. Wright, it's Ms. Maganda.
Maganda, Catherine Maganda.
Yeah, Miss Catherine is on here. Thank you, Miss Catherine.
Mr. Christian, can you use the chat function and send your email?
I'm doing it now, sir. I just sent
All
it.
right.
Make sure you send it correctly, and you should be good to go.
Yes, sir. That's the correct email, sir.
All right, Mr. Christian, be safe.
Yes, yes, Your
sorry.
Honor. Thank you. And happy belated Mother's Day if you're a mother.
Thank you. Miss Maganda, did you get that?
He actually texted it to me, so I'm just going to copy and paste.
Okay.
Am I
Thank
good
you.
to go, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. God bless everyone.
All right, take care, sir. All right, so we have still Mr. Terrence Christian, he has 3 cases, and Mr. Coulter and Real.
Judge, Mr. Terrence Christian, if you recall, entered a not guilty plea.
Oh, I'm sorry, he did.
And then I have Ms. Coulter, and then in the courtroom, court appointed, I believe it was Ms. Washington. So I'm going to call Ms. Coulter right now, and then I'm going to try to move through Ms. Washington and get us out of here, Judge.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor,
Yes.
Could you repeat the sentence on Joshua Christian? My Zoom logged out on itself. I
No
only heard
problem.
$300 fine.
That's it. It's gonna be a $300 fine, 60 days to pay. And then Mr. Lynch is gonna send you his email address, okay?
And which counts are no prost?
No processing 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And it's gonna be a no-low plea on count 2.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we'll be back.
Did you run Coulter's license? Coulter, yes, I ran Coulter's license. Coulter's license was a learner's permit. Yeah, it was a learner's permit. It wasn't an actual driver's license. If you got a driver's license, they give them a new number on it. So I don't have the ability to look it up. Thanks.
So what I'm saying is that, I mean, Yeah. Your Honor, I do have two announcements. Coulter.
Go ahead.
Judge, for Mr. Rosier Coulter, we are going to enter a not guilty plea at this time. And I've instructed him on what to do to get a resolution on this case for the next court date.
All right, Mr. Coulter, keep in touch with your attorney.
And
Okay, I will do. Thank you, thank you.
Judge, we also do have Miss Washington present in the courtroom. She asked for a court-appointed attorney.
It's real.
Why do I keep saying Washington?
I don't know. You've called her that like 3 times. I've already said she could have an appointed attorney. So what's the
Judge,
issue?
we're going to enter a not guilty plea today for Miss Real. I'm so sorry, Miss Real, calling you Miss
All
Washington.
right. Miss.
Just let's remember, it's got to be real.
It's got to be. Thank you, Judge.
All right, Miss Real, just be mindful of what you're charged with. Please make sure you don't get any other charges, because not just similar charges because of your bond conditions, and keep in touch with your attorneys. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to keep signing and finish up all my signing. So if there's anything that I need to address today, please send it to me. Thank you all.
Thank you, Judge.
I hope everybody had a great weekend.
Judge,
Yes.
did you see that I sent you about Mitchell? It's on 11 a.m. He's an active inmate. He didn't get brought up. And a bench warrant was requested.
Oh, well, let's get rid of the bench warrant. Did you all have an opportunity to speak to Mr. Mitchell? Is it M. Mitchell or S. Mitchell?
M. Mitchell.
I'm sorry, Ms. Val. So M. Mitchell is an active inmate, and he wasn't brought up. Will he be on tomorrow's calendar and brought up?
Winston, you think we can get him on tomorrow's calendar? Well, I'm saying, can we get him up tomorrow?
Yeah, we need to get him up for tomorrow.
Yes, God willing.
Okay.
Yeah, bring him up tomorrow. We'll do him tomorrow.
Okay, we'll do.
All right. Thank you. All right. Take care, everybody.